Hi everyone, hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to my channel NestArtfully. Here I talk about everything that goes into making a house your home. In this video, I'm going to be tackling our master bedroom makeover. So we previously tackled one corner of this room to convert it into a vibrant yet functional home office setup, which is where I'm currently sitting. Now it's time to tackle the rest of the room, and I'm going to go about doing so with plenty of DIYs because we're not going to be bringing in new furniture or any major changes. It's all going to be simple DIYs that I can easily do, install, and then remove at a later date. So let's get into it. An important aspect that I want to include in this as well as all future makeover videos is how I first put together a sketch on paper to look at the elements that I already have in a space and what sort of elements I want to additionally add. So in this particular master bedroom, we already have most of the furniture, and of course we already have the home office setup. So I'm taking all these elements into cognizance as well as the colors that already exist, and then on top of that I'm trying to create a style additionally. Now first we're going to look at addressing the headboard wall. So that's a blank canvas right now, and I'm going to have some art pieces on there, as well as I'm going to try and create an installation sort of shelf setup using popsicle or ice cream sticks. And then I'm going to look at adding 2 bedside tables. So I'm going to be tackling the bedside space through DIYs again. And then lastly, I'm going to be looking at adding some additional lights and lamps that I'm going to once again tackle via DIY. So these are the elements that I've put together, sketched it on paper, and then I've chosen like a color palette I want to work with. The whole look of the room is going to be bohemian, eclectic. I'm going to start with the bedside tables. Now for the bedsides, I have 2 Ikea tables already at home, both in white color, that I'm going to go about giving a terrazzo look, and I'm going to go about it the DIY way. Now for anyone out there who wants an easy way to do this, you can always purchase DIY contact paper. So you have contact paper in all kinds of patterns, including the terrazzo design, and you can just simply cut it to shape and paste it. But I'm going to be trying something different because I got incredibly lucky to find these beautiful terrazzo inspired tissue papers, and this is in a color combination that is just perfect for the bedroom makeover because this is sort of the scheme that I'm looking at. And for this project, all I'm going to be using is of course the tissue paper and a special Mod Podge. There are a variety of Mod Podge products available. This is a Mod Podge that is for outdoor purposes as well. So you can use this to decoupage your terracotta pots or your plastic pots for outdoor purposes and such furniture that you're going to be putting outdoors. Of course, this is going to be indoors, but I wanted it to be kind of water resistant, so I'm using this. Another step is that if you have metal that you're working on, or for that matter any material in a different color than white, then you might want to first give it a coat of chalk paint. I'm avoiding this step because these tables are already white. I'm going to get started by working on the underside of the table first so that I can get comfortable with the whole process. Now this tissue paper is a 3-ply tissue, and I'm going to only be using the top layer, which is the printed layer of the tissue. I've completed with the decoupage of the bedside table. I needed to only use 1 layer of printed tissue on this opaque white surface. Now moving on to the legs of the table, what I had in mind was to give it a coat of a dark green spray paint. So now that I completed with the decoupage of the table and I've also spray painted the legs, it's time to move on to the next DIY. For the next DIY, I'm going to be using ice cream or popsicle sticks to create these little shelves or wall art installation sort of design, and I'm going to be creating them in two different sizes, so one thicker and one thin. They're going to look like this. Now this is a very popular DIY and it's all over the internet. You can do many shapes like triangle, square, rectangle, anything that catches your fancy. I'm going with the hexagon shape. The only thing you need to get started with is a hexagon shaped template, and I'm going to show you how you can create your own template for the size of the popsicle stick you may have at home. And after that, it's an extremely simple process and DIY, but it can add so much design and versatility to the space that you're doing up. Now, before I actually show you how you can make these geometric shaped wall shelves using popsicle or ice cream sticks, let me show you how I first create a mock setup on the wall to be really sure about the design I'm going to be creating. And so I've cut up some craft paper in the shape of the hexagon wall shelf. This is true to size of what I'm actually going to be creating. And now let me place it on the wall and see how it looks. So the first thing I need for this DIY is a template of the hexagon. Now to create this at home, all you need is a compass. Now with the compass, you take the measurement of the popsicle stick or the ice cream stick you will be working with. So now my stick is a little more than 11 centimeter, which means on the compass I'm going to take a measurement which is slightly lesser than the measurement or the length of my popsicle stick. This is keeping in mind that there's going to be some overlap when we start putting it together. Now with this measurement, I'm going to simply draw a circle on a paper, and then once I have my circle, I'm going to take any point on the circumference of the circle. I'm just going to create an arc cutting across the circumference of the circle. Now the intersection point of the arc and the circumference is your next point. So keep your compass there and then draw another arc and then do so 6 times. So these are going to be the 6 points of the hexagon, which you then simply join with straight lines using a ruler, and there you have your hexagon template. It's really as simple as that. I have completed putting together all the hexagon shells for the beehive sort of installation on the wall. I've created 15 such units, and now it's time to move on to the last and final DIY. For this, I'm looking at creating some bedside lamps. I'm again going to be using very simple elements to put this together. So I have a plastic disposable box here, and I'm going to be using this as the base. I have some jute cloth to add sort of cover, and I have these battery operated lights because we don't have a provision on the wall as it is, so I'm going to be using this, and let's see how it looks when it's all put together. The process behind creating these bedside lamps is going to be that the battery operated light goes against the wall around which this plastic base will come into place. Now for it to fit perfectly, I'll have to cut a rectangular shaped hole at the base of this plastic container. The plastic container also happens to be transparent, so I'll be giving it a coat of white spray paint to make it opaque. On the top of the plastic container, instead of the existing cap, I'm going to replace that with the circular shaped jute cloth bit that I'm going to paste in place with the help of E6000 glue. We've decided to paint the outer caps of these lights yellow because they're white lights, but we wanted a yellow option, a warm option, as our overhead lamp in the bedroom is already white, so we wanted some more options in terms of mood lighting. I'm just going to be cutting the excess jute cloth around the place where the glue has adhered to the cloth and the container, and I will have a nice round shaped dome which is ready for use. At the back of the container, unfortunately, we had a depression, which means it's not a flat surface and not easy to get on the wall, and so we've used bits of the ice cream stick to just form some sort of a steady backdrop against which we could then place the command tape and then put it up against the wall. So it's the next day and I have completed all the DIYs. They were fun to do, but they did take time. So it's definitely not a one-day process. Now I have a lot of command tape with me and it's time to start putting up everything on the wall. We're going to first start with the hexagon hive installation that we have, and we're going to have one on this side of the wall and one on the other side of the bed. Then we're going to put side tables in place and the bedside lamps that we have. And lastly, we'll do the bed because I've got some specific linen to go with the whole color scheme, and that's a very important aspect. And that's about it.
I wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along, I'll be your ride. Promise we don't need no brake lights. We can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night, or drinking where I'm by an open fire, make love or fight. This or that. This or that, evenings on the train or catch a morning flight, enjoying dinner until midnight, or bed by night. This or I wanna see it all, find the northern lights, see the stars in the open wild, catch a glimpse of Panama. We don't need a map, I'll let you know when we've arrived, yeah. We can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night, or drinking red wine by an open fire, make love or fight. This or that. This or that, evenings on the train or catch a morning flight, enjoying dinner until midnight, or bed by night. This or we can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. So just be brave and come along, I wanna do it all. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night, or drinking red wine by an open fire, make love or fight. This or that. This or that, evenings on the train or catch a morning flight, enjoying dinner until midnight, or in bed by night. This or that. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night, or drinking red wine by an open fire, make love or fight. This or that.
So from sketch to the complete bedroom makeover, this was a crazy fun process, and I'm so happy with the final results. The colors in this bedroom have my heart. They really work well together. The greens, the orange, brighter color pops, they all tie in so beautifully with the earthy elements that we picked, such as the jute cloth, the popsicle sticks, the chopsticks, the wheatgrass, the terrazzo inspired side tables. They all come together so well. There are a couple of DIYs we tackled in this bedroom makeover. The toughest of them were the bedside terrazzo inspired tables that we did with tissue paper and decoupage technique. Now, tissue paper works very well when you're doing small surface areas, but with such a large surface area, I would recommend fabric or some other form of paper, not tissue paper, but we are still happy with how it's turned out. With the bedside lamps, these are incredibly easy to do, just some jute cloth and a plastic container, and we got ourselves something that looks so magical by night. With the hexagon shelves and popsicle sticks, again, very easy to do. We did 16 shelves, so it took us some time and we needed to use a glue gun to get it done quickly. But if you're doing smaller numbers, you can just work with ordinary glue and take your time and do some nice pieces. So overall, we're very happy with this bedroom makeover. I hope you had as much fun watching this video as we had putting it together. If you have any comments or queries about any part of this room makeover, do leave them in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.